I'd like to call this meeting to order. Call the Williamson County Board meeting to order for this date. I'd like to thank our sheriff deputies, Phil Hunt and Jody Cooper. Thank you for coming out. We're going to record the attendance, please.
Is clear on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see, what do we have?
Ask for Claire Reeves to voice vote that she's present.
We asked Claire Reeves, tell us you're here.
I'm here.
Okay. Oh, she looks. Okay, first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'm going to ask Donna to start us in a moment of silence. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the next order of business is public comment, and I'll just call your name, and you can look on your monitor there and see how long you have. You'll have 3 minutes, and there's a timer right next to you, so we'd appreciate it if everyone watched their time and got out, get out what you wanted to talk about and bring to the board tonight. First is Amy Cook.
Hello, how are y'all today? I already said, Dr. Golden, thank you for the snow day tomorrow. I hope it's not the whole week, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just kidding. I'm sure my kids want it to be. But I'm here again to talk about the Fine Arts Supplement, particularly with the middle school theater teachers. And so really I'm just focused tonight on the middle school theater teachers. But I do want to express just my gratitude because you guys are listening and I see that there's momentum and there's conversation. So I really appreciate the time that you guys are taking to see this. And I had a great conversation with Dr. Webb right before the break. And so I just appreciate all the time. I did want to just explain a little bit about how much time the theater directors are spending with my kids. So my son, he participated in both football and in wrestling this year. And I'm going to brag just a second on him. He got county champ for wrestling. He got defensive player of the year. So he loves his sports. And so I don't want anything to happen with the sports. Our sports they're just wonderful. But he also he loves fine arts. And so he also participated in Junior Theater Festival and in Beetlejuice. And he's in that now. And so right now, if I combine the hours of just in my Google Calendar of the practices, we combine both sports, it's 190 hours of time spent with them. And then by the end of Beetlejuice, it's going to be, with JTF and Beetlejuice, 256 hours that he's going to spend with Miss Isom. So that's a 66-hour difference, and she's still only getting one supplement. I do want to add that the football coach and wrestling coach was the same coach, so he got 2, and he 100% deserved it. He's amazing. So I also want to just say that my daughter, and she'll talk about this in a little bit, she's actually, her only thing after school is with Miss Isom. So she's going to be logging about 362 hours for this school year with that. So I just want to explain how much. My son is also an advanced band, and he spent, I think, about 7 hours so far, and so I understand there might be more payment for the band, but a lot of that time is actually like directly during the school day, and so not that they don't deserve anything else, but I do think theater needs to be right there with them, and there shouldn't be a discrepancy, because really it's at just comparing them, it's par for what an athletic situation is. So I would love for you guys to consider each and every show as a season, and for them to be paid at that percentage. And I think the percentage has been talked about, but I still think it needs to be separate seasons in order for them to get paid and compensated the way that I feel is truly best and equal. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Eden Cook?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Eden Cook, and I'm a middle schooler at Mill Creek Middle. I'm here today to talk about something that means a lot to me, the pay for our Fine Arts Middle School theater directors. Specifically, I believe they should receive the equivalent payment that the athletic supplements get. If I did the math correctly, we've had 117 days of school so far this year. Out of those days, I've spent 2 hours every single day after school with Miss Isom for 102 of them. That means that I've only gone home directly after school for 15 days this entire year. I want to clarify that I'm not saying this to complain. In fact, being a part of the middle school, Mill Creek Middle School Theater has been the best experience of my whole life. As you might remember, 6th grade can be a little stressful. We're all trying to meet new people and friends and figure out where we fit in. I truly believe there's no better community to be a part of than our theater program. It has provided me with a sense of belonging, creativity, and teamwork that I cherish. However, I've noticed that our theater teachers are not compensated fairly for the incredible amount of time and effort they put into our productions. They work tirelessly, often putting more hours than our coaches do during sports seasons. I believe it's only fair that they receive a pay structure similar to what our athletic coaches receive. I propose that each theater production should have its own supplement reflecting on the commitment and dedication that our directors like Ms. Isom give to us. It is important to recognize their hard work and ensure they are compensated appropriately for the time and energy they invest in helping us grow as students and performers. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I hope you'll support our theater program and advocate for fair pay in our amazing directors just as you would for our athletes. Also, come check out Beetlejuice. It's going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Eden. Vivian Cook?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vivian Cook, and I'm a 4th grader at Mill Creek Elementary School. I just finished being a part of the cast in Willy Wonka play, and it was such an amazing experience. I loved every moment of it, and I want to give a big shout out to my directors, Miss Kilpatrick and Miss Lisa. They were fantastic. As I think about my future, I really hope to be a part of the Mill Creek Middle School Theater program someday. It's something I'm really excited about, but there's something important I want to talk about today. I want to make sure that our theater directors are getting paid fairly for the amount of time they spend with me and my siblings. Even though I'm only in 4th grade, I can read and see how unequal it feels when I compare the fine art teachers to the athletic coaches. I believe that both deserve to be compensated well for the hard work, but it's really important that it's equal. I hope that by the time I get to middle school, the teachers will be recognized for all the effort they put in, and that they will be compensated for what they're truly worth. They help us grow and learn and express ourselves, just like sports coaches do. Thank you for listening to me today, and I hope you will consider making changes to support our amazing teachers.
Thank you, Vivian. Next will be Nate King.
Good evening. Before I begin, you were provided with a packet that goes deeper into the detail with the issues with both the apparel bid process and the contract, and this will also be emailed to you later. My name is Nate King, and I have 5 students in Williamson County Schools, and I'm also the president of the Franklin Athletic Booster Club. Williamson County Schools have the opportunity to give thousands of student athletes in the county something they've been wanting for years, the opportunity to wear and compete in Nike apparel. Instead, you chose to reward a vendor that has consistently failed to honor the current contract by failing to provide for the needs of the student athletes in the county. When it comes to supporting the day-to-day aspects of athletics, Williamson County provides the bare minimum. Schools are able to purchase uniforms and equipment because parents, we buy tickets, pay athletic fees, buy player packs, and fundraise. I will spend close to $3,000 this year on athletic fees and player packs for my students at Franklin High School. This number does not include the fundraisers we support or the donations we make. This is our money, not the district's money. Parents are saddled with this burden, and you had the opportunity to ease that burden and chose not to. Instead, you chose to allow one district employee who has fought against a change and defended the current vendor for years to influence the entire process. He's more concerned with personal promotion and protecting his personal relationship with the vendor than doing what is best for the people he is supposed to represent, the students, athletic directors, coaches, and parents in Williamson County. There was very little comparison between the competing bids, yet misleading and dishonest information was provided throughout the process and had a direct impact on the process. Athletic directors and coaches have had a voice and a vote when it comes to these contracts through the years. This time they were not given a vote. These are the people that have to deal with the issues every day, yet they were discounted in this process. You had the chance to do something great for the kids, but chose the status quo instead. And I'll leave you with one final comment. You chose to give a contract to a company whose owner talks about his commitment to Williamson County schools, yet chooses to send his kids to a school where they get to compete in Nike uniforms. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Nate. Okay, Kate Geese.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name's Kate Keese, and I'm sorry, I'm going to read these comments because I don't want to leave anything out. So first, I want to thank all of you for the way that you conduct yourselves. I really appreciate that you treat one another with respect, even when you disagree. Even when you disagree vehemently. I appreciate when you stand up for one another when a public commenter uses a threatening word towards someone else, another board member. That says a lot to me, that you all can disagree and model what that looks like. And I really appreciate it, and I think we need more of it. Being respectful of one another is, in my opinion, one of the hallmarks of civil society. We may disagree, but when we resort to name-calling or bullying, we have lost our integrity. There's a lot going on in the world, and there are many issues vying for our attention. And I want to implore you to continue to work toward making our schools a safe environment for all of our children, one that recognizes the talents, abilities, and potential of all our children, whatever their skin color or hair color or personal interests. We've heard a lot of students advocate for equal pay for the overtime of the theater teachers put in. And we could think about what the unequal pay says about our value system. I think it's true that a budget is a moral document, as it is a testament to our values. But we don't have to think about it. We could just fix it. Not usually a good idea, but it's possible. Similarly, we could think about the reasons that Black children are consistently given harsher punishments for similar behavior infractions in our school district and across the country. This is not a WCS problem alone. It happens everywhere. We could talk about why children of color are thought of for participation in certain activities and not in others. We could talk about why some adjectives seem to be used more often for people of certain racial or ethnic groups than others. I personally think we should talk about these things, but we don't have to. We could just make sure that we've developed systems that hold certain standards of behavior among our students and staff, and then hold everyone accountable in the same manner. I think it's important to talk about this because I can't always know how something I say will affect someone else. I have the ability to hurt people's feelings without meaning to. There is a difference between intent and impact. Did you know that Black History Month is often the least favorite month of the year for Black students? I didn't know that until recently. But I do remember asking in grade school why they get a month and we don't. And it took me a long time to realize that kind of every month is White History Month. It is their least favorite month. That should not be. They should not be bullied more because we are recognizing history. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keys. Peg Raciti? Peg?
Hi there. I would like to discuss the science textbook review process. I'm not here to talk about any content, just the process. The actual review space was terrific, but the entire process of review was very confusing, unnecessarily rigid, and not consistent throughout. There was not a regular schedule to the review. It was 3 hours on this day, 6 hours on that day. As of today, we've only had a total of 23 hours to review these textbooks over the past 1.5 months for all science book options from K to 12, and that goes for teachers as well. However, if you saw something you would like to note, you are not allowed to take any photographs. We are told it's against copyright regulations. Making a personal copy using a camera comes under fair use provision. We can all go to the library and make copies of a page. Educators may also make copies of pages for students as part of their educational plan. Researchers and scholars can also even use quotes from copyrighted works. The only thing that serves by disallowing taking photographs is to slow down the process of parents, teachers, and community members from gaining information and communicating it back as informed feedback. The only activity that's allowed is hand notes. We literally must write or type the pages or passages we find objectionable or perhaps faulty in the merits of the science. Upon arrival, we were given this form. And it says, I quote, "Parents and community members who review materials digitally can use this public comment form link to submit feedback to the textbook committee. It appeared that we would be able to view the text and the teacher books online as in the center. This is not the case. Not all the digital links to the textbooks, and more importantly, to the teacher's editions. That's where all those extra details are given for the lessons, and we all can agree the heart and the soul of the curriculum. Some only link to the student workbooks, and all are very, very difficult to navigate. There are different login codes, passwords for each and every book. It's weighty, it's time-consuming, and it serves to disconnect parental and community members from the process. So I think we can do better. Perhaps we can have like a page where all the digital links are and somehow automatically do the passwords so we can all have a chance to review. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. Genevieve Pejos.
Hello. All right, we have already touched on how bad the review process is and how difficult it makes it for parents, teachers, board members, and concerned Williamson County residents to thoroughly examine the curriculum. I feel this process is designed to keep people out of it, and we really do hope to see that change. That said, based on what we have been able to go through, we are requesting, if it's possible, that we delay the adoption of the science curriculum for a year. With all the changes happening on a federal level and new guidelines coming out, what feels like daily, it just makes sense. After reviewing, we know that there are things throughout basically all of the publishers that are likely and thankfully no longer going to be allowed in our schools. So instead of picking a curriculum now, spending lots of tax dollars just to potentially have it challenged in a year, why not wait? Avoid wasting money, give publishers the time to update their books accordingly, and give the state time to help fix this horrible review process so we can select a curriculum that will best serve all of our students to actually learn and love science. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you all for your public comments tonight. Excuse me. Let's see, next up, approval of the agenda. I'm going to need a motion and a second on that. Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions? Okay, this will be a voice vote. Oh, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, approved. Approval of the consent agenda, which includes approval of January 21st, 2025 school board meeting minutes, board policy for first and final reading, 4.603, promotion and retention, approval of the City of Franklin green infrastructure easement at Franklin High School, approval of a request for a lease of the cafeteria and gymnasium at Amanda H. North Elementary School by Ascent Church, approval of tennis storage shed at Centennial High School, approval of shade structure at Perry Creek Elementary School, approval of a batter's eye at Summit High School, approval of the storage shed at Fairview Elementary, approval of an outdoor classroom at Chapman's Retreat Elementary, recommendation for field trip fees. All these are included in the consent agenda. Do I have a motion and a second? Okay, thank you, Donna and Margie. It'll be a voice vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, agenda taken care of. Thank you. All right, communications to the board, Superintendent Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I want to echo what you said, Mr. Chair, thanking the public commenters. Of course, we will, from time to time, have students comment. We very much appreciate that. I want to also mention that we very much appreciate our parents' involvement. We know that we can't do what we do without the support of our parents. So thank you, sir, for the comments related to that. When we celebrate our PTO leaders or booster leaders through our Shining Apple Award, I often will articulate the money the money donations that we receive through parent efforts, but I will also usually add that we haven't been able to and we can't measure the time and the value of parents and their commitment to their children's activities with us, and there's no substitute for that time. So I want to reemphasize that. I also want to mention, since we did have a couple of comments related to student safety, that is an ongoing effort every day. Our school communities are working on that, including developing consistency with how we discipline students. And finally, I want to thank the parents or citizens who spoke to our science textbook adoption process. I know that the online posting of a portion of those materials is an effort from the state to increase accessibility, and I know that that's an ongoing effort as well, because traditionally they give us 5 copies of what we are looking at, and then we're limited to those 5 copies. So we'll make sure that we share that feedback with our state folks as they work to continue to improve that process as well. Mr. Chair, we spent some time talking about budget at the work session. That's not on the agenda for this month because that is scheduled for a vote in March. Just want to reiterate that preliminary process we went through, and reiterate that we're encouraging you all to, if you have any questions or comments, certainly bring those to Ms. Farmer or me. I know we had some human resources information mixed in that as well, and so Ms. Hall is available for those questions. We already, even today, had a little bit more information from the state related to the revenue side of the budget. So it's a slight exaggeration probably, Rachel, but almost every day we're hearing a little bit more on the revenue side as we try to make those make those ends meet. So this is definitely a work in progress. With that, I think we had a parent mention that we have canceled school for tomorrow because of the incoming snow. The snow is projected to arrive here somewhere between 8:30 and 9. So with that, I'm going to transition quickly to our student and staff spotlights. Mr. Corey Mason, our assistant director for our communications department, is speaking. Carol Birdsong, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek, wore out her voice today giving the school message related to our closing schools. Mr. Mason.
That's right. Carol's resting those golden pipes just in case she needs them later on this week. So we're going to kick things off for this month's Student Spotlight Award winners with 23 perfect ACT students. We'll start in Brentwood. Brentwood High School, Madeline Anderson got the perfect 36 on her ACT. Also at Brentwood, Rohan Dasgupta got a perfect 36, as did Andrew Estrella and Cade McConnell. At Centennial High School, we have Addison Edmondson, Keegan Goner, and Michael Rada. From Franklin High School, Taggart Huffling, Evelyn Wang, and Abby Webb got that perfect 36. Over at Nolensville High School, Deepak Balamurigan got a perfect 36. And at Page High School, Adam Kerwin, Mackenzie A., John Gray, Abby Rybow, Bailey Murray, and Christopher Peck got that distinction. Over at Ravenwood High School, we have Jackson Andres, Caitlin Green, William Hoskins, Claire Locke, Thomas Pierce. And over at Summit High School, last but not least, Nathan Phillips got that perfect ACT score. Over in the world of college, career, and technical education, at Page High School, you see here Bronson Claflin, Carson Bryan, and Brandon Fox. They're all in the TV film program there at Page High School, and they won first place in the 2024 Student Television Network Challenge Competition for Best Public Service Announcement. And their teacher over there is Dave Holt. And in club sports, the teams winning state and national championships include the Grassland Middle School cheerleading team. You see them here. They won the state and national title in the large middle school division. Their coach is Lisa Wheeler. Spring Station's middle school cheerleading team won the Junior Game Day Live national title. They are coached by Missy Scott. Franklin High School cheerleading team won the national title for the small varsity non-tumbling game day category. They are coached by Jessica Clark, Becky Brennan, and Talon Geisler. Over at Independence High School, the cheerleading squad and the pep band worked together to win the National Varsity Game Day Live and Pep Band Championship over in Florida. They are led by David Grayson. Ravenwood High School's cheerleading team won the state and national varsity cheerleading championship, and they are coached by Melissa Bull. The Brentwood High School cheerleading team won the state large varsity championship. They are coached by Haley Stevens, Amelia Norfleet, Jackie Morgan, and Mandy Bisick. And Ravenwood High School won the state large varsity jazz dance title. Their dance team did. Over at Brentwood Middle School, the cheerleading team there won the state large middle schools championship, and they are coached by Shannon Doris. And last but certainly not least, over at Thompson Station Middle School, their cheerleading team got the state game day small middle school championship, and they are coached by Ashley Schmidt. Congratulations to all of our staff and student spotlights.
And Mr. Chair, that's my report.
Okay, thank you. Wow, what a state and national titles. Wow, it's just unbelievable. And 36 on the ACT, I still haven't got that figured out. But congratulations to all. Next on the agenda, board chair report. There's nothing really to report tonight other than weather. So we'll just keep moving on. New business. 2024-25 school board budget. Approval of general fund amendment 2.25, State Special Schools Transportation Reimbursement of $136,709. Do I have a motion and a second? I didn't get ahead of myself, did I?
We're okay.
Dan, I did the motion and Mark seconded it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was waiting. Okay, thank you. Okay, Jason? Any
Thank you,
recommendation?
Mr. Chair. This is a revenue from the state for transportation reimbursement for our special education transportation service. I do recommend approval.
Okay, let's go ahead and vote on that. Any questions? Okay, let's vote. What have we? Yeah, I was trying to see it up there, but I can't. Yeah, okay.
There's a lot to look at.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and vote. Yeah. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Okay, thank you. Approval of family tuition rate for 2025 and 2026. Need a motion and a second. Okay, thank you, Tanya and Donna. Recommendation, Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is our annual tuition rate based on the cost per student and the revenue that we receive from the state. I did want to remind the board what we talked about at the work session. We do not have a structure for out-of-county students to attend Williamson County schools, so the purpose of this is quite limited. We do have some provisions for those who are moving into the county, have a non-contingent contract where they can pay on the front end, and then when they move in, we reimburse, and a provision within our policy for students who are finishing out a school year after having moved, being able to stay in school through the end of that school year. So in those limited instances, this vote will have an impact on those parents paying tuition during those limited times. So I do recommend approval.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Any discussion? No discussion. Let's go ahead and vote.
Yes, ma'am. I do recommend approval.
Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Approval of Encore Summer Program fees for 25 and 26. Need a motion and a second. Okay, thank you, Melissa and Tony. Recommendations, Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is for our Encore program, which is a true summer camp program in the summertime. We're asking that you approve this fee based on the memo that Dr. Oyer proposed. Do recommend approval.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Next up is approval of the 2024-25 Superintendent's Evaluation Instrument. Need a motion and a second? Thank you, Melissa. Eric, got a motion and a second. Recommendations, Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is part of my contract that actually includes you all approving an instrument for my evaluation a few months ahead of the actual evaluation. This reflects the same evaluation structure that we've had for the past few years. And I have to give a shout out to Dr. Margie Johnson. She actually noticed a typographical error that we've double checked has been in place at probably 6 years, but you were the first one to notice it. That's actually in the demonstrable characteristics in the state required elements for student achievement. We made a typographical correction to that spot, but with that correction, I do recommend approval for us to implement this evaluation instrument in, if I'm not mistaken, 3 months.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, let's go to a vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, got all the votes in?
The vote's 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. Okay, board policy, first readings. Okay. First readings, I'd just like to say this, we had a lot of discussion about first readings, and they're very important, and you all know that anything that you feel is necessary to change or to discuss goes right back to policy the next time around for a second reading. So let's carry on here. Public records request, 3.604. Need a motion and a second. Thank you, Tony and Margie. Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll just repeat what you mentioned, that this is for first reading, and we did have a lot of discussion. So I do recommend that you pass this to return it to the policy committee for further discussion. Recommend approval.
Okay, recommend approval. Any discussion? Okay, with that said, let's move to a vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. 4.301, interscholastic athletics. Motion and a second. Thank you, Margie and Drazen. Any discussion, or Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's one proposed change, again, to go back for second reading. It includes institutionalizing a standard that we have that participation or enrollment in a non-school sponsored activity will not be a prerequisite to participation in a school athletics team. So I felt like it was worth making sure that that was mentioned. I do recommend approval to return this to the policy committee for second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Any discussion? Okay, let's move to a vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, 5.118, criminal background checks. Need a second or a motion and a second? Okay. Mr. Driggers and Tony Bostic. Thank you. Mr. Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is putting into policy a new state requirement that actually will be a good thing for us, that will automatically update criminal background checks for our employees. There's a lot of detail to it based on what is described institutionally as the federal RAP-BAC program, the Record of Arrest and Prosecution RAP. So do recommend approval to take this for second reading.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Any discussion? Quiet. Well, with that said, let's vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Thank you. 5.101, line and staff relations. Motion and a second. Okay, Tanya and Melissa, thank you. Mr. Golden?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This and the next item on the agenda, organization charts, is an effort via the policy committee to combine two policies. So the proposed language that we have in there is borrowing or moving from the next item to combine this into one policy. So I do recommend approval on first reading.
Thank you, Mr. Golden. Any discussion? Okay, with no further discussion, let's vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you.
The vote is 10 yes, 0 no.
Okay. That's going to wrap up our meeting. Thank you all for coming out tonight.
If I may, Mr. Chair.
Oops, I'm sorry.
What?
You got the last item.
Which one's this?
You got the organizational chart. The very last item you still have to do.
Oh, I thought that was deleted. I thought that's what you just
Well,
did.
if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, Mr. Cook, it takes a separate vote.
Correct.
Okay. Sorry about that. It takes a separate vote. He combined them, but it does take a
That's on
separate
me.
vote for 5.803 organizational charts, deletion. Do I have a motion and a second? Mr. Bostic and Mr. Driggers, thank you. You want to speak on that again?
I'll just repeat what I said before, so I
Okay.
recommend approval.
All right, recommended approval. Any discussion? Okay. Let's go and vote. Ms. Reeves?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, with that said, we'll end this meeting. Safe drive home. Thank you.